Woo! Exercise those demons.
That's right. God damn.
Macho Taco Man Savage. Let's bring it back with some kind of taco thing. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dude, that was
Those
that
might
was
be some
pretty
good
epic.
sound clips. Yeah. Yeah. Snap into some tacos.
Oh, we'll stay out late to gastrobate and hang out with our friends. We'll share a few good microbrews, the good times never end. From seaside to the mountains, we'll travel many lands. Eat of their pub cuisine and hear their local bands. We'll drink it from a bottle in a can or what's on tap. We'll rage brew as we do with fairness and a map. Spirits are up, we'll fill our cup, the wind is in our sails. We'll drunkenly mix metaphors and travel happy trails.
Welcome to Hoppy Trails, a show where sometimes we get a little bit spooky, probably a little bit goofy. Now, I haven't seen what Nick looks like yet, but, well, one way or the other, we're both in costumes.
Yeah. Well, I'm Nick.
I'm Travis, and I feel like, Nick, I feel like this is our wedding night here, right? And here I am with the jitters. I haven't seen what you look like yet, and saving it for the ceremony, I guess. So, look, let's walk your ass down the aisle. Let's see what you got here.
It'd be hilarious if I was just dressed up like a giant penis. But I am not. I am not. I am the opposite of a penis.
The opposite of a penis?
I am a taco!
What the fuck?
Soy taco! Not that soy non-meat crap, but I am a taco.
You are a taco. Wow. Okay,
yeah,
where did you find that? That is
some
amazing.
Beef in my pits here.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know. This is all Monica. She is a taco. The dogs are tacos.
Yeah.
Everyone's tacos. Do you know why we're all tacos?
Because it's Taco Tuesday.
That's correct. Halloween falls on Taco Tuesday. So,
oh my God, I didn't even think of it until just now. I just realized it. It's hilarious.
Yes. So,
oh my God.
I feel like I look like the Macho Man.
I was just gonna say
tacos.
You look like Macho Man Randy Savage's like taco brother. Oh yeah, taste the spice. Oh my God, this is so great. Anybody who's on the audio only, just go to YouTube. You've got to see this. This is probably the greatest costume there's ever been.
Maybe there will be screen caps pulled. Who knows?
There might
make
be.
It up on. I feel like this should probably end up as a reel or something. I'm not sure.
100%. Yes, will be a reel at some point. This is absolutely the greatest costume I've seen in a long time. Yeah,
I'm normally not a costume person. Like the last time I wore a costume was I think the first year that Monica and I were dating. It was the first Halloween that we did, and my costume was just a shirt, and it was an orange shirt, and it just said Peter on it, and then Monica was a pumpkin. So, yeah.
Very nice.
But yeah, that was the last time I wore a costume. So
yeah.
Well,
this one definitely does it. It's outstanding.
For sure. Now, I'm wondering, would it look better if I did it like this? Am I supposed to wear it like this? I'm not sure. It doesn't feel like it fits quite right, but it kind of works. And now I feel like Napoleon.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. Yeah, you're like the taco that is hunting pirates or something.
It is what it is. Soy taco.
I love it. It's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, that is.
And you're
I would like to see the dogs as tacos. I would like to see that very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, there will be pictures. Yes. Of this. So I think we're It's supposed to be dry this Halloween, so
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna set up my little campfire thing in the driveway
Nice.
and just hang out. It's also my oldest dog's Irie, his birthday, his 9th
Oh,
birthday.
nice.
So
Very
he's
nice.
an old man, and we're gonna celebrate appropriately. Monica found some doggy cake mix. It's a peanut butter cake. So
Yeah, nice.
they're getting cake and all that.
Brilliant.
Good
That's
times.
great. That's really good. Excellent. Well, that's gonna be a lot of fun.
And
Yeah.
for those that aren't not having the pleasure to view right now, Travis is Peter Pan.
Yeah. And here's the funny thing. I had a Halloween party at my work, and everybody wore costumes, and we had like a bounce house and bring your family, some barbecue and all that. And there was a toss up between, some people were like, "Oh, Peter Pan," before my family got there, and some people were like, "Oh, you're Robin Hood." And I realized Peter Pan
Yeah.
and Robin Hood wear the exact same thing.
Exact same.
Exact
Well, I mean
same
the
thing.
hat and the top, the shirt, whatever you want
Yep.
to call it, is not quite exactly the same, but the hat definitely the same. And that's where
That's
I was
exactly the
like,
same.
when I first saw the picture that you shared the other day, I was like, is that Robin Hood?
Yeah, that's why when I've got Steph dressed as Wendy and Squee dressed as Tinkerbell, that makes it very clear,
And it makes
what story we're from. Unless they're like,
For
why the
sure.
hell did Robin Hood run around with Wendy and Tinkerbell? It's like, I don't know, man. Just give my daughter the candy. I got to get out of here. Yeah. So that's what I'm rocking. We're getting ready. Everybody's going to be listening to this the Friday after Halloween, but we're recording before Halloween, obviously. Maybe
Yeah.
not obviously to everyone listening, but that's what
Because
we're
we're
doing.
latecomers
So
like that. Yeah.
that's right. That's how we do it. But yeah, so we've got Halloween coming up, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We do a little thing around the neighborhood. Drew's gotten to wear her costume, I think, like 4 times now already. So she's getting good usage out of
That's
it.
awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah. So she loves it. Yeah. Well,
Very cool.
Nick, I've got to know what you're drinking, and if it's not some kind of like Mexican lager, I'm going to be very disappointed.
It is not a Mexican lager. No such thing. So it's funny because I growing up as a kid, I loved pumpkin pie, loved pumpkin
Yeah.
pudding, and then this whole pumpkin spice craze came about. I don't know, in the last 8 years. And
Yeah,
it just kind of
terrible thing.
ruined pumpkin for me. And a lot of
Sure.
things became just very not your pumpkin, but pumpkin spice flavors.
Yeah.
And I'm not a fan of the pumpkin spice flavors.
Right.
And
the
so I was
pumpkin spice,
deterred.
no pumpkin at all. It's just the pumpkin
Exactly.
spice. Yeah.
Exactly. So, and that was also, I kind of got deterred from like pumpkin beers for the longest time.
Sure. Yeah.
But, I'll talk about a place that we visited recently that had a pumpkin beer that
yeah.
reinvigorated that. I was hesitant about ordering it, but then the name, I was just like, oh, I'll talk about it in a bit. But
Yeah.
anyways, I wanted to enjoy a pumpkin beer for this episode. I mean,
Sure.
why not? It's fitting.
Yeah.
So, I got this Big Black Jack
Ooh.
from
Look at
locally
that.
from Oakshire Brewing.
Yep.
It's a imperial chocolate pumpkin porter.
Ooh.
Let's see here. 7.8%. It doesn't say anything about what exactly it has in it, but honestly, it's Oakshire Brewing, so I feel like I'm not going to be disappointed. And
No,
it says a
absolutely
chocolate
not.
pumpkin. So we're going to see. I feel like it's warmed up a little bit here to be enjoyed. So I don't know how well that got picked up. But if it
Hold
didn't,
on one
I'm
second.
sorry.
Stephanie. Steph. Come here real quick. Okay. That's Nick's costume.
Hi. I'm a taco.
I love it.
So Monica's also going to be a taco, and both of the dogs are tacos. So they're going as like a family pack of tacos.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We're going to be walking tacos.
Walking tacos. Yes.
I love it.
All right. I
Very
just wanted you
cool.
to absolutely see that.
You guys are awesome.
All right. Okay. And for everybody listening, that was Squee Mama. She is the other half of Yumi and Squee, a show that's been on a short hiatus, but we'll be back soon. And look at this. Oh, Nick, look at that pour.
Ooh-wee.
My goodness.
Yes.
Whoa, look at that
Look at
color. That is a
Yes.
chocolate stout, no doubt about it.
Oh, yes.
Wait, did you say chocolate stout or chocolate porter?
Chocolate stout. Pumpkin
Chocolate
chocolate
stout.
stout.
Pumpkin chocolate stout, yeah. Oh, what's
Oh,
going on
wow.
in there?
It actually smells a bit nutty.
Does it?
And a little bit of pumpkin-y.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right, he's going in. How is it?
Outstanding.
Good. Excellent.
Outstanding. This actually kind of reminds me of the pumpkin beer that we had at the place that we visited recently. Huh.
Excellent.
Very good. I like this a lot. Oh, the chocolate, it doesn't overwhelm the pumpkin. It's just everything is just coming out all at the same time. Wow. I need
Nice.
to go back for another. Excellent. Excellent stout.
Good. Yeah, Oakshire
So-
Brewing, man, you're not going to go wrong. They do good stuff there.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
So what do you got going on?
Actually pulled something out of the cellar here. This is
Oh, nice.
Hidden Hills.
Excellent.
Hidden Hills Brewing and Blending, Carmel, California. Place we've talked about before, had an interview with
Yeah.
Jeff. And this is an imperial stout called Civil Twilight. And this is a 9.5%. Okay. And they don't do a lot of the canning they do is by hand, right? So they have their cans and then they write on them what's in here. So there's not a lot of detail on this. And I picked this up a while ago and stashed it in the cellar. So I don't remember what's in it or the description. But I mean, let's see what's going on.
Yeah. Ooh,
All right. Ooh, okay. Let me back up so I don't pour over my keyboard. Oh, that is a dark color. Wow. Dude, this looks like motor oil, no doubt about it. And look, oh my God,
wow, really?
I can't wait to show you the head on this. The head looks like chocolate milk. Look at, do you see that?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, that is chocolatey.
Beautiful.
Oh my goodness.
What is this called again?
This is called Civil Twilight.
Civil
Twilight.
Very nice.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Looks like it's
Oh,
gonna be
I haven't
smooth as
jumped into
hell.
a stout like this in a while. Oh, beautiful, toasty, coffee, roasty aromas, chocolate all in there. Oh, I'm going in. I'm going in. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a good one. This is a good one. Nick, let me tell you, I have not had a stout like this in a long time. This is really good. Like I said, it pours like motor oil and it's heavy. It's got some heft to it, but
Yeah.
it also is really smooth. There's some bitterness on the back end that goes well with like the idea of sweetness that comes across. It's not sweet exactly, but it has this idea of sweetness that you get in. Oh my God, this is good. This
Kinda
is really
like a dark
good.
chocolate bitterness.
Very dark chocolate bitterness, absolutely.
Yeah.
Not like a hot bitterness, like a dark chocolate bitterness and like a heavily roasted malt bitterness. I've got to call Jeff and ask him what malts he used in this. It is good. And that is, I mean, it's black.
Yeah.
That is black. Right? I
Yep.
mean, that's as dark as you get on the color
That's definitely
scale
darker
there.
what I Yeah. We're actually maybe a little bit
No,
the same.
that's a pretty black beer you've got there, Nick. No doubt about it. But you know, and look, hold these up. Yours has that nice light tan cream colored foam.
Yeah.
And this has that chocolate colored foam, that chocolate
Yep.
milk colored. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
They're both very dark beers, but the color of the head, very different. Interesting. Very interesting.
I think this is going to be the episode of the stouts because I'm going to be talking about a few more.
Oh,
later
as well
on.
you should.
Yeah.
It's that time of year. It's getting into that
It
time
is.
of year when you
Makes
want to
you all
have a stout. You want to
Feel
curl
all
up next
warm
to the
and fuzzy
fire.
inside,
Yeah, you do.
right? Well, you don't
It's
want to
cold
start
out.
a fire and do s'mores, so you just curl up on the couch and have a s'more made inside your belly with beer.
That's right. That's right. And there's nothing wrong with it. Beautiful.
Yes.
Well, so I know you're going to talk about pumpkin beer, you're having a pumpkin beer.
Yeah.
I decided this weekend I was going to do something with some pumpkin. And we were hanging out trying to figure out what to do. And I'm like, what am I going to cook? And I don't know what I'm going to do and all this. And I thought, you know what? We're going to go to the pumpkin patch. I'm going to grab a sugar pie pumpkin and I am going to make 2 kinds of pumpkin ravioli. I'm going to make one savory for dinner and then I'm going to make a sweet one for dessert. And so I go to make up some pasta dough. And Huey, you ever make pasta dough from scratch?
Yes.
Of course you do. Your mom, I'm sure, all the time taught you how to do it.
Yeah.
I have not done it before for pasta dough. I've made bread doughs and things like that. Of course I have. Pasta dough I haven't done before. So this was, brand new for me. So I only wanted to make a little bit. And here's something you may not know. When you have to make like the volcano and you stir it and all of that, right? It's easier if you're making a bigger batch because you have a big pile of flour. If you're making just a small batch, it's real hard because you put the eggs in there and your volcano's not very big, so it starts running out on the counter. So I made a mess, but I made the dough. And I think I did a pretty damn good job. And so I get it all made up, wrapped, put it in the fridge. We go to the pumpkin patch that's down the street from my house. It's no, Spino Farms, but it's actually bigger than previous years. So they've got a hayride, they've got a corn maze, they've got a hay bale maze, they've got, a little cow train, bounce house. And so we go over there, and they actually had a place that I'll touch on in just a minute. Ollie's cheesesteaks, but they had we buy some pumpkins, and I get a sugar pie pumpkin, and I'm going to bring it home and roast it up and, take the insides out and use that for the filling. So I get home, I roast it up, scrape out all the insides for the filling, get them all mashed up and everything. I take some, about a cup of the roasted pumpkin. I mix it with a quarter cup of pecorino romano, a quarter cup of shredded mozzarella, and a quarter cup of ricotta, a little bit of garlic, salt, pepper, touch of nutmeg. Not a lot, just a touch of nutmeg because I don't like it to be real overpowering. And then I'm thinking I'm going to do a brown butter with some sage out of my garden. That's going to be the sauce. So I get everything ready to go. And I go, all right, now for the first time in several years, I'm going to pull out my pasta roller. And I can't find my pasta roller. Can't find it anywhere. I'm digging through the pantry and everywhere I would keep cooking gadgets. I'm looking for it. Cannot find it. And so after a long time, I think, look, I can hand roll this, but I'm not going to do it tonight. Let's put everything away. I'll come back to it in the morning. Look again in the morning, can't find the pasta roller. So I think, okay, I'm going to try out, I'll do the breakfast ones and I'll just make a couple of raviolis. So I take, a little portion of the pasta dough. I start rolling it out by hand into individual little ravioli wrappers. And I'm rolling it and it's, taking a bunch of time and it's getting thinner and all of this. And I finally get to where I'm like, it just won't roll any thin. This is as thin as I can get it. And so I make the, breakfast / dessert ones. And for those, it's, equal parts of brown sugar and pumpkin mash, the pumpkin insides. And then I crushed up some cashews, crushed those up, stirred them in. And then that's my filling, just very simple. So I put it in, I fold these over almost like a pot sticker, get them all pressed together. And I made 4 of them just to test it out. And so I get those boiling. And then I make a sauce for them. The sauce is equal parts butter, sugar, and heavy cream. Okay, so it's like if you're making an Alfredo, but instead of Parmesan, you use sugar.
Nice.
So it's like a breakfast, pancake sauce or whatever that I came up with a few years ago. And I just use that same concept. So I was going to use that for this. Very simple, just butter, sugar, cream. And so, I get these all made up and pour the sauce over. And we go to eat them, and they are delicious. The filling is wonderful. The sauce is wonderful. The dough for the pasta, the flavor is all there. But what I realize is, by hand, it is impossible to roll them thin enough. Just, you hold it up, and you're like, yeah, that's got to be thin enough. But then once you start eating it, it's just like, no, this pasta is way too thick on this. So, it was good. It was a success, but at the same time, it was a little bit of a bust. And then later today, I found my pasta roller, and so this whole thing could have been avoided. It was just stashed away somewhere. But I did get to try out the fillings and like that, and so proof
For
of
sure.
concept. I'll go back, I'll redo it all, and get some video of it so people can see. But proof of concept. Roasted up some pumpkin, used it to make some raviolis, and turned out very good.
Awesome. So it still had a happy ending. That's good to hear.
Still had a happy, hoppy ending. Absolutely. Yeah.
Happy ending.
Yeah. Now, and I did want to say, at that pumpkin patch, they had one food truck there, and it was all these cheesesteaks. And they had a big sign that says ribeye, one of those big, like, kind of banner type ones that just goes up. And it said ribeye in big letters. And so, after I had the baby kind of set, playing around, I was like, I'm going to run over to this big ribeye sign and see what's going on. And
As you should.
damn right, I investigate. I investigate for your benefit. And it turned out that it's a Peruvian style, well, not Peruvian style, like a Peruvian influenced or fusion cheesesteak. And man, it was really good. I haven't had a cheesesteak that like jumped out at me in a long time. It's just been like, yeah, you need a cheesesteak, you eat one, you're like, all right, it kind of, hit the spot, but wasn't anything really that stood out. These cheesesteaks really stood out. The flavors, the spices he was using, absolutely insane. I immediately went back, talked to him, and we'll be doing an interview with him very soon to talk about kind of where he came from and how he got started. But Nick, I have to say, if there was a way I could overnight you one of these cheesesteaks, I would overnight you one of these sandwiches, man. They were really, really good.
It's possible.
It is possible. It'll be cold when it gets there.
I don't care. That's the power of the vacuum seal machine. Is you go and get it, you get home, you vacuum seal it.
Yeah.
And then you refrigerate. Then you can sit on it for however long. But you overnight it, and then for me to reheat it, I don't know, sous vide for a little bit.
Sous vide.
And then just put it in the air fryer for like 5-10 minutes just to crisp it up, the bread.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. After we do this interview, we're going to talk to Ollie. We're going to say, listen, we're going to start your mail order business, okay? You pull the truck up to my house, you turn out the sandwiches, I vacuum seal them, we ship them around the country.
We could be the next Gold Belly.
Damn right we can. Also, what is Gold Billy?
Gold Belly.
Oh, Gold Belly. I'm like,
so
who the fuck is Gold Billy?
I've never used them, but I used to get ads for them all the time. You can, like, popular restaurants across the country, like there's a Junior's cheesecakes in New York City. Like you can order the like cheesecakes through, but I think you can order directly from them. But there's other places that are like famous for whatever particular food, and you can through Gold Belly get it shipped to your house. I just don't know how they actually package it so that it's nice and fresh for you. But I feel like vacuum sealing something as soon as it's made is the way to get there.
Yeah.
But that's just
me. And then put it on a Concorde, right? Fly it directly to me.
I don't know about a Concorde, but I mean, even a 5-hour flight, it'll survive.
Yeah.
They always survive.
Yeah. Well, what we need to do is when you come down here next, 100%, we're going to Ollie's. Absolutely. I'll probably have been 10 times before you get here.
Of course that's happening.
It's good. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And if we have time, we'll also go hit up this Filipino truck that I told you about, I think, recently.
Yes.
So
yes.
I haven't been there in forever, but the last time that we had their food, it was stellar. So, and they have a really good lumpia. So
I love Filipino. I absolutely love it. Yeah.
For sure.
All right.
So
tell me about your adventure that got us to pumpkin beer.
So a couple weekends ago, we went to this brewery that we've been through this town. And I know I'm gonna mispronounce it again. Philomath.
Huh.
Yeah. PH.
I'm not even gonna try it.
It's like somebody is like, like maybe they were teaching philosophy and math in this town, and
Yeah.
they're like, oh, let's just call the town Philomath.
Philomath. It's perfect. Absolutely
that's
perfect.
That's the spelling. So, anyways, we had eaten breakfast at this right across the street from this brewery about a month ago now, after we did our Great Pumpkin run.
Yeah.
And we were reminded at that time, oh, we need to come back and go to that place. So a couple weekends ago, we were bored and we're like, let's go check it out. So we drove up there, went to check it out. And it's not like a big place by any means, but it's a very old building. And it still retains that very old kind of antique vibe. But, it's definitely been updated inside as well. So
Yeah.
a lot of reclaimed wood and all that and everything. But so we go in, we get, obviously a taster flight, just because, that way we kind of sample everything first.
Yeah.
A few of them that we particularly liked. One, they had a one called Silky Smooth, and that was a hazy IPA. Another one called Farm Pour, that was a double IPA, and it said version 8. And at first I was like, oh, is that like some crazy hop name or something? No, it's just that's the 8th version of that beer that they've made. So,
Yeah.
And then Gone Hunting, which was a cream ale, and that was a nice little in the middle, to kind of break up all the hops that we're having and everything. Because the next one was another double IPA. It was called Exit 333.
Talk to me about a cream ale, Nick.
Well, so for those that haven't had a cream ale, you're gonna find it's very similar to having like a cream soda, which I like to call a blonde root beer.
Blonde root beer. That's accurate.
And honestly, when I was young, I loved cream soda over root beer. I was a big fan of cream sodas, and then I guess finally my taste buds opened up to enjoy root beer. But yeah, cream soda is where it's at. And then long ago, when I discovered, oh, there's cream ales beer that has kind of a nice softness and a little bit of a vanilla. It's a nice beer to, especially like I was saying, like when you're on the marathon of IPAs. It's something nice to kind of break up that hoppy monotony.
Hoppy monotony. Yeah.
But no, it was a really good cream ale. Let's see, they had like an Oktoberfest Marzen. They had this barrel aged stout, which was really good. And then the last one that we ended up trying, which was funny because towards the end of our stay there, a couple had come in and sat down next to us, and they had overheard us talking about getting a taster of this pumpkin chocolate chip cookie stout.
Pumpkin and chocolate chip cookie stout.
Correct. Yes.
That's a lot of things.
It is. It's a big mouthful.
That one fella that wrote the article last time would throw his hands up in exasperation at the number of flavors you listed in that title.
Just, you think it's going to be too much going on, but so we actually ended up getting a taster for the couple as well because they were interested. And we were all really pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
That was a great drinking pumpkin beer. And that kind of reinstilled in me that, like, hey, there are some good pumpkin things out there.
Yeah.
Which actually I should talk about another thing, but it's pumpkin related. But I will do that in a second. But this pumpkin beer, though, it was something else. And it wasn't, it's funny because it has chocolate chip cookie in the name, and you think it's going to be, it's just going to be a bunch of chocolate chip cookie flavor with a little pumpkin. It was actually more pumpkin and with a hint of chocolate chip cookie to kind of give you that kind of chocolatey, buttery goodness behind the pumpkin, which is why I was kind of like, ooh, with this one, this chocolate pumpkin stout from Oakshire, because it kind of gives me that similar experience because it's a chocolate pumpkin stout.
Yeah.
But no,
let me ask. So on that one, are they putting pumpkin in the ferment, or is this something they're flavoring with afterwards? Do you know?
I am not sure.
Okay.
I didn't really get too much of an opportunity because the owner of the place ended up coming up just before um, we were leaving. So I briefly talked to him, but I just let him know, like, hey, I'm going to talk about you. And but my intention is to go back because they're coming out with some barrel aged stouts that they're doing collaboration with a few distilleries that
Wow.
age whiskey, and the collaboration is them using those whiskey barrels to barrel age their stouts.
Excellent.
And they're canning them. So
nice.
I'd like to try and go back and get some cans.
That's good news
before
for me.
We had exactly.
That's very good news for me. Yeah.
for sure. But so yeah, I'll ask about that. But this pumpkin beer was definitely one of the great ones that I've had, and I haven't had a good pumpkin beer in a very long time. But this one really hit the spot.
You've inspired me to go out and see if I can find one, just because I stay away from the pumpkin beers. Years ago, I had a friend who was making some pumpkin beer, and he talked about the mess of it, doing it in a homebrew setting. It's a mess.
Imagine.
Yeah, it's a whole thing that, and the way he described it, and I thought, I don't want anything to do with this, and so I don't think I've ever even tried a pumpkin beer. I've tried ones that have pumpkin spice, and like you, I'm not into it. It's not my thing. Like pumpkin spice, it's all fine and well. Look, everyone listening, if you like pumpkin spice, good for you. Don't bring it to my house. I'm just not into it. I'm not.
Same.
And honestly, you're probably not either. You're just caught up in the hype. But maybe you are, and if you are, good for you. But I'm still not into it, so don't bring it around me.
Down with pumpkin spice. The taco has spoken.
The taco has spoken. Macho Man Taco Savage has spoken.
Oh, yes.
But now I almost wonder, is like, all right, well, do I hate pumpkin spice because it's trendy not to like pumpkin spice? And then I think, no, I hate it because it's awful. That's why I hate it. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah. So that was a really fun place. Now, to carry on about pumpkin, recently a local Facebook group for the town, and there's this lady that I've noticed that posts she makes empanadas. And so recently she had posted about she was making 3 different empanadas: apple, blackberry, and pumpkin.
Ooh.
And Monica and I were like, ooh, yeah, apple and blackberry, because pumpkin, normally we're like, whatever.
Right.
This lady, she charges like it's a box of 4 empanadas. You can mix and match. It's like $7 for a box of 4. Amazing empanadas, by the way. Amazing. Everything she does is made from scratch, which one of them I'm about to tell you in a second. So when we went to go pick them up, which turns out she literally lives on the next street over from us, I gave her $10 because that's all I had. And she's like, oh, let me get you change. I was like, no, don't worry about it. Like this, I'm sure they're worth $10, maybe more.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, well, do you like pumpkin? And I looked at Monica and I was like, we're okay. Like she's like, let me get you some pumpkin empanadas. I'll give them to you. You can try them out. I'm so glad that she did that. And I'm so glad that I said yes, because another item that restored my faith in pumpkin.
Yes.
These pumpkin empanadas were out of this world. And she had later posted like a little reel that she put together of just her making all the different empanadas and everything. And when it came to the pumpkin portion, I saw why they were so amazing, in that, she uses the whatever it is, sweetie pie, or
the sugar pie pumpkins.
Sugar pie pumpkins.
Yeah.
She breaks them all apart, boils them down with cinnamon sticks and the brown sugar cone that you get from the Mexican market.
What's that? Is that called a piloncillo
yeah.
or something like that?
Yeah.
Everybody who
And-
speaks Spanish that's listening to this just took their headphones off and they're like, "That's
We're
enough.
we're
That's not
sorry
good."
for butchering it.
He's
I
dressed like a
promise
taco,
I will-
but we can't speak the Spanish.
Hey, I can understand quite a bit of it. I just can't. I don't speak it, so that in fear of butchering it. So
Yeah.
because I know I've already butchered a few words on this show. Monica schooled me on the Luna de Miel. I
There you
probably
go.
still again didn't say it right again, but anyways, so these pumpkin empanadas though, like so dang good.
Yeah.
And so thankfully, week and a half later, she posted again for taking pre-orders. So we ordered a whole lot more. But really good. Like just seeing how she makes the pumpkin ones, like you can understand why they taste so amazing. But even the apple ones and the blackberry ones that she makes are also really good. So
And you said she posted that on Instagram?
No, it's like there's somebody long ago created a local town group for our town, Facebook group.
Yeah.
And so that's really the only thing I use Facebook for now. It's just to see what's going on in town. And she posted in that group taking pre-orders for empanadas, and they were absolutely amazing.
You've got to show me that video because that sounds really interesting, and I want to see if I can make something using that. And hey, who knows?
For
maybe
sure.
we can come up and do a video with her. She can show us how to make it.
She's
or
not steadily making them because she also works full time. And she says like it basically involves devoting her entire weekend to making them and everything. Yeah.
Wow.
I think either first time we picked up from her, I think she said that she had made like 160 empanadas or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And how much is she charging? You said it's how much for 4 of them?
$7.
$7. Get out of here, man.
Right.
And they're like standard empanada size, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're,
Yeah. That's
like it's hard to gauge it, but yeah, it's like it's and then she like kind of rolls them in a mixture of cinnamon and sugar.
Nice.
So dude, they're absolutely perfect. They're nice and soft, but still with a little bit kind of like crumble.
Yeah,
just so good, amazing.
that sounds great.
Yeah. So all kinds of pumpkin, and there's
yes
more. Actually, no, I think that's it about talking about pumpkin. Yeah, that's all the pumpkin I got. But I have more to talk about stouts. So
yeah,
in some of the stouts that we drink. So yeah,
let's do this. Why don't we take a quick break? Since we ended with the pumpkin, we'll take a break here, and then we'll come back with the other stuff.
I like that. Let's do that with other stuff.
Yeah, I think that's good, and we'll. God, I was trying to think of something funny about tacos. Like we'll, I don't know, but it's like, how do you refresh a taco? I don't know. We're taking a break. Whatever. We'll see you soon.
We'll talk about it.
Yes, we'll talk about it when we get back. Fuck yeah, Nick. That's why I love you. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back.
Did you ever get the feeling that there was more to this world than meets the eye?
Ghosts, aliens, big feet, interdimensional spirits, cryptids, North Dakota. Well, neither have we.
So come join us as we uncover the true stories and plausible explanations behind famous paranormal urban myths.
From the perspective of skeptics.
But it's funny. We promise it's funny.
So join us in the Least Haunted Podcast, because the only thing that's haunted here is you.
Ah!
Again, hold on. Hold on. I'm holding on. Look at this. Thank you. A dinosaur. A dinosaur. Bye.
Drunkenly mix metaphors and travel happy trails.
All right, and welcome back. We are back. We are back from the salsa bar. I don't know. What do you got, Nick?
We talked about it. We tacoed about it.
We tacoed about it.
We tacoed about it, and we didn't come up with anything, but it's okay. 'Cause I'm dressed like a taco for your enjoyment.
That's right. He's very saucy. He's a saucy little taco.
I'm a saucy, spicy taco.
Yes. Yes. Well, let me tell you about what I did, not this weekend, but the last weekend. I went on a little bit of an adventure. And so for a while, I've wanted to go up to the Slough Brewing Collective. Okay, Slough Brewing Collective. And they're in, oh, Jesus. Oh, man. Well, I'm going to Google real quick. I'll cut all this.
I know where they're at. They're in Watsonville, aren't they?
Is it Watsonville? Shit, it is Watsonville. God damn it. Whatever, I cut all that. Doesn't even matter.
I'm
Okay.
a Slough operator.
Oh, you are a sleuth. That's right.
I'm a Slough operator.
So,
Yes.
went to Slough Brewing Collective in Watsonville, and I've wanted to go there for a long time. Originally, I wanted to go back this spring, winter, spring-ish, and we thought, oh, I looked them up online. This is going to be great. Do a little day trip. For those who don't know, the Monterey area almost became an island for a while because of flooding, right? So we had rivers and all this stuff. We were literally to the point that a lot of places we couldn't get to, and there was always the worry that, hey, if you go somewhere and it rains a little bit more, the Salinas River is going to flood and you won't be able to get home. So we looked up, all right, Slough Brewing Collective, we'll go up one, it'll be a whole thing, except for there was no way to get there because they were completely cut off from where we are due to flooding. So, this last weekend, I thought, hey, you know what? Let me go to that place. So we look it up. We drive up there, and Slough Brewing Collective, we roll in. They're kind of in a little bit of an industrial area, as a lot of places are in Watsonville. And as we're pulling in, it's one of those places where, it's a line of industrial spots with the roll-up doors, and Slough is at the end, the very end. And as we're coming in, there's another roll-up door open right next to them, and it is Santa Cruz Cider Company. And that is a all women owned and operated beverage company. They started off in Santa Cruz, but they moved their location down to Watsonville because they both live closer to Watsonville anyway. Stuff's a little less expensive in Watsonville. And so they ended up with the unit right next to Slough. And so we thought, well, I'm going to run in there first. And they had some amazing ciders going. I walked in, I sat down with a flight of 8, and they had half that were dry and half that were, well, I'm going to call them less dry. They called them sweet, but they were not sweet by what you think of with cider. They were still very dry, and they were all really amazing. They had some really good stuff. This ginger one, I actually made a little bit of content that I'll cut and put up on Instagram, but really amazing stuff there. And they're doing it all right there. So they've got their tasting room area, and then they've also got the warehouse unit next door that they're building up to expand. But the woman that was working took me over there and showed me where they're doing the fermentation of all these different batches. And they had just a lot of really great stuff going on. I had an amazing time at this cider place. And the whole time I'm thinking about the cider festival that you talked about there. Like I said, 8 different kinds. They had some that were just plain cider. They had some that were with the ginger and like that. And I have to look up all the different ones, but what I want to do is have them on soon so they can talk about kind of their history, their process, all of that. But they're using local apples and everything like that. Really cool. I had a wonderful time over there talking to them.
Love it. Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't want to get too much into it because I do want to have them on. But there were 2 other things that I actually ran into while we were there. And one was obviously going over to Slough. Here's the thing. Slough recently sold. So it's not the owners that had it back during the flooding. It's new ownership. But as a brewing collective, they have multiple breweries that are brewing there. So they've got their their equipment set up over on one side, and they have multiple breweries that people will come in on different days and brew. And so they have multiple breweries on tap. And I thought that was just a really cool idea because it is so difficult to, start a brewery, get a space, have all your equipment. It's a huge investment and it's really expensive. And so if you can share that overhead with, 3, 4 other breweries, that's a really good thing. And then also you get the benefit of, hey, if somebody wants to, a lot of times we'll go, hey, we're going to go to this brewery, I'll drink all of their beers and that's where we're going to be. But sometimes you think, oh, I don't know, I want to try this, I want to try that. Their tap room has multiple breweries' beers on tap. So it gives you that little bit of variety also, but they're all brewing at the same place. You know what I mean?
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I thought that was a really cool thing. Had some great beers. I made some content there also that we'll put up. And I did make some connections with a few of those guys. And so we'll have them on at different times to talk about what they're doing.
Awesome.
But that was a really cool time. I'm glad I made it up there. And I also ran into a fellow named Danny who had his barbecue smoker trailer pulled in there, and he was cooking some amazing stuff. He had some tri-tips going, he had some chicken, he had some ribs going. His smoker, his rig was outstanding. It was a standard trailer size, like for a barbecue. On one side, it was a Santa Maria grill,
Oh,
and on the other side, it was a smoker.
very nice.
So it was a
That's how it's done.
combination. Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
So
Excellent.
he's doing, he's doing like chicken on one side and tri-tips over there, and then ribs on the other side, and then he's making up beans in a big pot that he has cooking on the firebox for the smoker. It was really good. I spent some time talking with him. Definitely a cool guy who we'll also have on. He handed me a bottle of his rub, his seasoning, and I put that on a brisket, and it was so good. It is really outstanding. I'm going to see if I can find a way to get a link to everybody, so anybody that wants to try it, you can order some of his rub. It was
he sells
really
it.
good.
Awesome. Cool.
Yes, he does. Yeah,
Very
that was
cool.
one thing that I asked him about because I told him like, "Hey, I just used this on a brisket and it turned out outstanding. How can my people get a hold of it?" And he said, "Yep, absolutely. Sell it on the website. No problem." So it's something people can
Rad.
get. But yeah, absolutely. It was really, really amazing. And I'll have some pictures and things like that up. But yeah, it's, I again, I don't want to get too deep in any of these because I want to have all these people on and let them talk about their stuff. But it was
For sure.
amazing. You'll see some content up on Instagram and like that.
Hell yeah. I'm excited. Whoop,
Yeah.
whoop.
Now, Nick, you had another adventure. You're out there adventuring all the time. And you sent some pictures and various things
Glad
like
to.
that. And my goodness, man, I've got to hear about this.
Wait, where did I go? Oh yeah, that's right. It was just yesterday. Just yesterday. Like we always do. Hey, where do you want to go? Oh, I don't know. Oh, well, okay. And we scroll through, each of us kind of go through Instagram looking for local stuff and whatnot. Monica found this great place that we've actually been to quite a few times in the past. Ale Song. I'm sure I've talked about it before. In fact, ironically, you had that Hidden Hills beer, Hidden Hills beer earlier.
Yeah.
Because they also do brewing and blending and some fun stuff. And I think on that episode that we talked to Jeff, I think I might have mentioned Ale Song because of their brewing and blending. And Ale Song's thing for the longest time has been, whatever they brew, they also age in wine barrels from the winery that's next door to them. Because they're all out deep in the countryside. Like for us, it takes about, even from Eugene proper, it's still a good 25-30 minute drive to get out there.
Yeah.
But it is worth the drive for sure. A lot of their pretty much all of their beers, they age in the wine barrels or some form of aging. And then they also like the funky stuff. So they're primarily like the saisons and they do what's the yeast, the Brettanomyces?
Well, they're using like the Brettanomyces.
Yes, and that's actually why that bottle that you asked me to get is named the Brett.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yes, when I saw that on there, I thought, "Ooh, that's gonna be a funky boy."
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely. But we ended up going because they had made a post about doing a pairing with Halloween candy. And we're like,
Ooh,
oh, this should be interesting. Let's go check this
interesting to
out.
say the least.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
the first that we had was their Cheers to the Land Saison. And that was paired with sour gummy worms. And that
Really?
actually, like, yeah. So it just it they all worked so well.
Yeah.
You would never think, to combine, what they did, and a lot of them just work so well. Especially with the Cheers, the Saison, it's light on the funkiness, but it still has that funk. And then
Yeah.
you add in the kind of the sourness, especially because the sour in the gummy worms comes in the form of the whatever it is, citrate or whatever,
Yeah.
the crystals on it and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Basically
so
citric acid and yeah.
yes, citric acid. So basically it pairs nicely with it and adds a little bit of sourness to the kind of the mellow funk of the Saison.
Yeah.
And then the gummy worms themselves, they're kind of adding a level of fruitiness on top of that. So that was a really, really nice one as well. And then I don't want to, let me pull this up real quick because I'm glad that I took a picture of the actual menu itself. So that particular Cheers to the Land Saison was actually so it's aged in French oak barrels with Montecucco Farms rhubarb.
Oh, really?
Yes. So
Yeah.
also because that citric acid works so well because of that kind of tang or tartness of the rhubarb in there.
Yeah.
So very yeah, it was a really good one. Saisons are kind of hit or miss for me.
Yeah.
And this one in particular was just outstanding. And I
And
I made sure to yeah.
It's interesting they use the French oak because there's obviously there's the French oak and American oak are the two big ones. There's a Hungarian oak also that's less commonly used, but the French oak a little bit lighter. American oak is actually more for like whiskeys and like that because it has a much higher vanillin content and things like that. So you're going to get a lot more of those kind of flavors in it. And the French oak is milder, so you'll get the oakiness, but a milder and not a lot of the vanilla, the caramel, the things like that. So that's interesting with the Saison. They went with the French oak for just giving you the oakiness without kind of being overpowering. I like that. It's really
Mhm.
interesting. Yeah.
The French oak is also pretty popular, I think, with most of their non stouts. Or
Yeah.
I think for most with their Saison. So because the next one that we had on the pairing, this one's called Whiskers on Kittens. And that's Whiskers on Kittens is an ale aged in French oak with Cabernet Sauvignon grapes.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That was paired up with just like Hershey's dark chocolate.
Yeah.
Our particular one was Hershey's dark with peanuts in it, but it's
Yeah.
still it just honestly with the jamminess of the Cabernet Sauvignon. And I'm glad that he gave us the dark chocolate with. He's like, oh, whoops, that one has peanuts. I was like, no, that's totally okay.
Yeah.
Because with the peanuts in the dark chocolate, like is there as well, which honestly just made it better. But the peanuts with the jamminess, it was almost like a bit like reminiscent of like PB&J.
Yes. Oh, that sounds
that
great.
that was really good combination. I really like that a lot.
Yeah.
The next one was the Rhino Suit stout, which it's an imperial milk stout aged in bourbon barrels. And they've actually been making the Rhino Suit a very long time. I think I might have given you a bottle of Rhino Suit in the past. If not, you'll be getting some
Yeah, I have no recollection of it, so please feel free to bring me some more. Please feel free.
So the rhino suit was paired up with a Payday, which was just, dude, it was like, honestly, it was like eating like a Reese's peanut butter cup in a way. Between the two of them, it was so good. And then they also have a mocha rhino suit, which is imperial milk stout aged in bourbon barrels with locally roasted Colombian coffee beans and cocoa.
Yeah. Ooh.
And so that one was paired up with an almond joy. And I was like,
ooh,
I made the joke to our tender, Jacob, by the way, which, Jacob, if you're listening to this, thank you. And thank you again for giving us such a great time.
Shout out Jacob.
I made the joke to him. I was like, oh, wow, something that almond joy is actually good for. And he's like, you're right. Cause it's literally the one candy or one of the candies that's always left over. No kids ever pick it up. When you give them free reign of picking candy out of the bowl, you always have almond joys left over at the end of Halloween.
You know what's funny? I love an almond joy. I love it. It's one of my favorites.
I'm
from
normally
the first
not
time
a
I
fan.
discovered it, one of my favorites. Yeah.
Normally not a fan of almond joy, but after having it paired with the mocha rhino suit, I'm a fan of almond joy. Dude, I mean, maybe I just need to eat it, eat them with mocha rhino suit. We'll find out, on Halloween, and I'll just eat an almond joy. And if it's not good, then I'll be like, well, I can't have it without the mocha rhino suit. But,
if it's not good, then crack a mocha rhino suit. Yeah, I mean, it's, very simple.
Exactly. But I would very, they weren't like out of this world pairings, but at the same time they were, because they lay out, their flights are served to you on like old barrel staves, like a lot of places do. Yeah. And then he puts out a plate in front of the barrel stave with the glasses of the 4 candies. And it's like, usually like with this place, you're thinking like, oh, it's going to be some kind of fancy candy or something like that. Just because of what we had in the past. But even because it was Halloween candy, and after the fact, it turned out to be such an amazing pairing. Like when I first saw it, I was like, okay, I mean, like, it's just your basic candy, but this basic candy had so many other flavors unlocked with them being paired with these amazing ales. I look forward to doing this again there. I'm hoping that they do this again next year. But because of that, and we've been to an event there in the past, they hosted this, it's like a traveling, I don't know what I did there, but my sound cut off a little bit.
It did.
But they, we went to this event, and it's like this, it's called the Terroir Project. But it's hosted at different. So this year it was hosted in Arizona, and they were still selling tickets to it because they were participating in it. But we obviously weren't able to go to it. But last year it was hosted at Ale Song in the Countryside. And that was an incredible event. We drank. So I'm glad that my parents were visiting at the time, because we had them drop us off out there and pick us up later. We were annihilated from all the different things that we got to try, because it wasn't just Ale Song that was there. It was at least a good dozen other breweries that were there. And they each had 2 to 3 different items that they were sampling out. So but Ale Song never disappoints. Such a great place. We had a couple other ones after that pairing. Their Farmhouse Fusion, which is a juicy farmhouse ale aged in French
a juicy
oak.
Farmhouse ale,
right?
Yeah, that's
so that was really, honestly, all of them are amazing. This next one, Kentucky Kilt, it's a Scotch style ale aged in Kentucky bourbon barrels.
Ooh, nice, very nice,
right? So and despite it being 11, almost a little over 11%, so smooth. That's the other thing with a lot of them, especially their stouts, is so incredibly smooth, not the overly boozy, despite them being a very high percentage. And then the other one, which you're going to get to try come December, is their Maestro, which is an English style barley wine aged in bourbon barrels.
Yes.
That
Yes, and
was
you mentioned to me that you were gonna bring it, and I said, you know, as I've mentioned before, I make jokes on here about barley wines and what have you. End of the day, problem I have with barley wines is I have not had a good education in barley wines, and I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to you bringing this down
I
and really spending
guarantee
some
you
time
this.
learning it.
Yeah, I guarantee you this barley wine that I'm going to bring you is going to blow your mind because
Yes.
it's so incredibly smooth. Like I'm sure with barley wines that you've had in the past, they just like punch you right in the face with
Yeah.
all these
Yes.
strong. It's like like a Belgian strong ale on steroids, where it's
Yes.
just so overpowering. But this one is so incredibly smooth. I don't know if it's because it's been aged in bourbon barrels or what, but you would think that it'd be even stronger from being aged in bourbon barrels. But this is like the smoothest barley wine I've ever had.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I
and
can't wait.
yeah,
I can't wait. It,
so
it and it could be that just that time in the barrel just gives it time to mellow and kind of, round some of the sharp edges. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then so they have another location in downtown Eugene that they're actually closing, so that they can focus more back on the countryside location. Um, and while I'm disappointed, at the same time, I'm happy for them because they're now going to be able to generate even more from that one location out there. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but because they're closing the location in downtown Eugene, I guess every day they're opening up a case of whatever in their library
Yeah.
that's like their reserve stuff. And so Jacob told us I think it's this coming Thursday, they're going to be opening up a case of their double Maestro
Ooh.
and selling the bottles that they have of that.
Yes.
I'm going to try and go Thursday to pick some up. So their double Maestro is double barrel aged. And I can't remember. So the second barrel of aging is for 2.5 months, but I can't remember now which type of barrel it was. But when he told us, I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
hoping that we can get our hands on a bottle of that, and then that way we can do a side by side of the two.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, absolutely.
and yeah. So now that we joined after going there for a few years now, we finally joined their bottle club. So
Yeah.
every quarter, they do a bottle release, and so we're able for that bottle release. It doesn't necessarily have to be the bottles that are being released then, but we will be buying 6 bottles a quarter. And that also gives us access to bottles that the general public aren't normally have the ability to purchase. So
Yes. Yeah.
I'm excited for this. We'll get access to, whatever special events and whatnot as well. And yeah, totally worth it.
Yeah, that's
Honestly, my
I
only regret
think
is not
that's
joining a few years ago. So
that's such a cool thing that they've got the bottle club going because it's very rare that a brewery does that. I mean, wineries all the time, right? They're like, yeah, we've got, you become a member and what have you. But it's not something you hear about from breweries. And it's like, yeah, that's such a cool thing. And especially because of the stuff they're doing,
for sure.
it's very different. It's not just we brewed it, we canned it up, it's ready to go. It's stuff that's being aged and like that. So
Yeah.
I love it. That's such a cool thing, man.
I mean, they're literally right there in the heart of, Pinot wine country. They
Yeah.
have a massive winery and vineyard right next door to them, King Estate Vineyards.
Yeah.
And that produces some amazing wine as well. So the fact that they're pretty much all the majority of the wine barrels that they're utilizing for aging are coming from King Estate. And I'm assuming probably actually I can't remember if the Cab Sav grapes or the Whiskers on Kittens came from them, but he did say that they definitely were from local within the Willamette Valley.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that
Yeah.
too. Just doing it local, and that's one of the things
Totally.
when Alvarado Street a few times when they've done some of their barrel aged stuff in distilled spirits barrels. I remember they had one that they had a distillery out of Santa Cruz. They were getting their gin barrels for doing the aging on one, and it's just I like it. Just, supporting other local businesses. That's what a lot of it's about. And the Ailsung, they're in such a great area. And it's like, yeah, why would you even need to go anywhere else? There's such great wine coming out of there that, yeah, you need to get some cab. There's some right over here. You want some Pinot barrels right there. And you've got some great distilleries and what have you. There's a lot going on up there. Yeah.
They actually had some old barrels for sale. Because it's at some point the barrel isn't really usable anymore for aging.
Sure.
So they get sold off. We brought home a really nice barrel yesterday for $50. So
very nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Nick, you've been to my house. I've got barrels all over the place, man. I love them.
Yeah.
I think they make great tables. They make good planters, all kinds of stuff. So
apparently excellent planters because of all the yeast and whatnot that's been embedded into the wood grain and everything. Apparently it's great for the soil for veggies and everything.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Get some good microbiology in there. That's always important. Oh, very good. Very good. I like that. Yeah. Yeah, brilliant, man. Brilliant. So so you're going to be bringing some of those down then, yeah?
Oh, I've got quite a few bottles that we're bringing, plus whatever cans that we seem to collect along the way. So
good. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait, man. Yeah, when you showed me that menu, I looked at it and I was like, oh my goodness, everything here looks great. Next time we come up, we got to make a trip.
Oh, that's definitely on the list of places to go. We are absolutely going to there. Like when you come up, we're making a list of must go places. So
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, so cool, man. So cool. Did you get any pictures, videos, stuff like that we can maybe post up? Maybe a couple of photos?
Oh, yeah. Of course. Of course.
Good. Excellent. Yes, you're always good for that. Good. We'll get some of that posted up on Instagram. Yeah, excellent. Well, that's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty feeling kind of tacoed out. Been talking a lot.
I'm
tacoing a lot.
I'm out. That can is done. I can't stick another drop.
I tipped this can over, but there's still stuff in there, but that's reserved for the better half.
That's right. That's right. If Monica doesn't get some of that, there'll be hell to pay.
Yeah.
Yes, there
will be. Either that, I'll be going back to Oakshire to get another can tomorrow.
What a rough time you'll have going back to Oakshire.
I know. Darn. But yeah, other than that, that's all we've done so far. We'll probably be doing more stuff here coming up in the next week or two.
No, it sounds like a really eventful week. Nick, where can everybody find us if they need to see us outside of this episode?
You go to hoppytrailspod.com.
Yep.
You'll be presented with some links.
Couple of links.
Them. Yeah. There's a few there. One, you can go and see our Instagram. You can see our YouTube, where we're starting to see our lovely faces on each episode. And Travis recently did this amazing pinwheel steak video.
That's right.
For everyone to enjoy and go along and make their own at home.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it looked awesome. I can't wait to try that myself.
Yeah.
There's another link for our Patreon. So if you feel so inclined to send us money and every month, we'd appreciate that. You don't have to, but it's cool. It's whatever.
Yeah, look, you listen to us for free. We put it out here for free.
The nice thing is if you throw some money at us each month, we'll send you some perky things.
Yeah. Yeah, we make some cool stuff. We send it out. There's also by the time this drops, our patrons will have gotten a special patron only release, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, we made a little patron only update episode that'll be out, but plus we've got all some kind of merch and swag and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Throw us a couple of bucks if you can.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe a human taco will just show up on your porch one day. I don't know.
Might just show up there. Might just show up.
Yeah. Just whatever. Hey, let's drink some beers.
That's right. That's right. Cervezas, as they're called.
Cervezas.
Cerveza. Yeah, and you know what? Contact at hoppytrailspod.com. Send us some feedback. What do you think about any of our stuff? The show, our Instagram stuff, whatever. Hit us up. Send us some messages and send us a trail report. We love those. You went somewhere, just record yourself 30 seconds, 2 minutes, whatever.
Yeah.
Talk about where you went, shout them out. We'll put it on the episode. We'll let them know. and just spread the word about places you love. Why not? Our fans love it. We love it. Yeah,
Totally.
get involved.
Help us. Help us help you.
Help us help you in the places you love.
Unfortunately, we can't exist in multiple places at the same time. So
we can't. We
need
tried.
help. We need help visiting these
Yeah.
places and finding them.
That's
and
right.
sharing them to the world.
Yes, 100%.
Right on.
Well, Nick,
Well,
I think with
yeah.
that, the only thing left to do is to remind everybody to always say yes to the happy ending.
always say yes.
Always say yes, or Taco Man Randy Savage will come and tell you why you should.
Oh
yeah! All right, everyone. We'll see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.
The preceding podcast was produced by Sequoia Productions, LLC. Copyright 2022. All rights reserved. If you enjoyed this show and you're looking for more, or even if you're looking for something a little different, check out the other amazing shows by Sequoia Productions, wherever you get your podcasts, or on sequoia.com.
Happy trails to brew until we drink again. Happy trails to brew. Keep sharing with your friends. Who cares about which IPA tastes better? ABV are just a couple letters. Happy trails to brews until we